And I know that the ramp goes basically to the front doors. And I was like, that doesn't seem worth it. In hindsight, totally worth it. Right? Like, it would have 100% been worth it. Welcome back to Under the Influence. It's season 5. We're so glad to be back with you for another season. This is going to be another 24-episode season. You just recently saw a special episode between season 4 and season 5. I hope you enjoyed it. And what you'll be noticing is that in that episode, that was a totally different set. Things look totally different than they do right now. This is our brand new set. Bing, bang, boom. Look at that. See those vertical lines? Vertical lines. We're so glad to be back with you. We've got another season planned. We've got a goal here with season 5, which is that everything steps up. That means our plans, we're stepping up. That means our structure, we're stepping up. That means our hosts, we're stepping up. That means the set, we're stepping up. That means segments, we're stepping up. That means theme, we're stepping up. That means energy, we're turning up. We're turning up.
All the way up.
Sorry, don't want to make the people. We don't want to make the audience afraid. We're very fearful. We're very fearful. We're very fear-inspiring. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So, no, we're just really glad to be here. How do you guys feel?
Feeling groovy.
Wait a second.
Whoa.
Hello.
Jarrett!
I'm back.
He's back, baby. We're so back. So Jarrett, I still don't know why that's a thing.
What?
We're so back. I still don't know why that's a thing.
Dude, we're just so back.
Is it a meme?
We've never been more back.
Is it a meme or is it just from that place?
I'm pretty sure it's a thing.
It's a meme. Okay, so well then we're so back.
Yeah.
Jarrett's back. So let's talk about a few of the things that are going to be new this season. So what's new? Jarrett, do.
Go.
I tried to like Scooby-Doo. What's new, Scooby-Doo? What's new, Jarrett Jew? Hang on. What's new, JW? Jerry Wayne.
Crane.
Didn't work.
Nope.
What's new?
JJ?
I've given the opportunity to become a bigger part of the podcast and help set up the studio, continuing to grow my faith. Had some more.
We gave you that opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're giving you can grow in your faith if you want.
Yeah. You know what? I will. And so I'm just excited to be a bigger part this season. And I hope that God uses us to touch a lot of people. And I'm just very grateful for this podcast. And I'm really excited to see where this season goes.
Me too, man. Yeah, I think so. We talked after that episode that you did with us last season. We were like, man, we both loved that episode.
Yeah.
It was one of our favorites of the season, and people that listened to it really liked it. And so when we were thinking about number one, after that we're like, we want to get Jarrett more involved, and then especially given how busy Byron is, we were like, what if we had it be that Levi and I, you're always going to be getting us unless like there's some crazy thing that has to happen.
Yeah,
you're always going to get Levi and I, and then Jarrett's fairly busy as well. Like he often has to work on Saturdays. So what if we take the role that Byron was filling, which was already like he was going to be kind of not like he would have to miss a few episodes here and there. What if Byron and Jarrett kind of split that role? And so now you'll have rotating co-hosts coming in, and then you'll still get to see guests. And when I say we're stepping everything up, we really are going to try and step up our guest game this season. We're going to do our best to go and get like not just some of our friends who we want to have on the show, which we still will do, and we enjoy doing that. But like we want to go out and find, maybe other Christian YouTubers or people in ministry and bring them into the show. I'm working on it. Shibs is out there working on it. We're doing our best to step that part of the show up as well.
Yeah.
Because to some extent, you'll always be hearing from us. But if we plan on doing this for a long time, eventually, you got to have some things that are a little more interesting than us from time to time, right?
Yeah, probably.
I'm assuming you're tuning in for us because we're a constant, right? But at some point, we got to keep your interest. Yeah, we got to keep your interest with maybe a Cliff Connectly here and there, maybe a George Janko. That would be insane.
Yeah.
What if?
Yeah. rotating redheads can only do so much.
That's true.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. We got rotating gingers.
That's why we did it. Right?
Yeah.
I was under the impression that was why we did it this way.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Get with the program.
No, I wouldn't watch a podcast with just like, a ginger.
I've got
on it
ginger
once in a
ale in
while,
here.
But if you had two, rotating.
I don't. It's water. What else is going to be new that you guys can expect, guys? We talked about the new hosts, how that host system is going to work. What else? We got new stuff this season.
We do have a new theme.
We have a new theme. I was going to save that one for the end because
Never mind.
No, go
Cut
for
that
it.
out.
Actually,
No,
go for
we
it.
can cut it.
We have a new theme
Cut it.
because we're going to
No,
talk about
cut
it more later. You're right. Do it.
Oh, okay. Hebrews 3:13.
Oh, I wasn't going to say it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Go for it. I was joking with you. I was just going back and forth with you.
Oh, okay.
There's a
Cool.
bit.
Well, it's all about encouraging one another. As long as it's called wow, I can't speak. As long as it is called today, encourage one another. So that
You're not hardened.
you're not hardened by sin's deceitfulness.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so last
Basically
season
there.
we started this tradition where every season we want to have a theme verse. And I don't know, this one might stick so much we might just keep it. Who knows? But we want to have a theme verse every season. And what we did with it last time, well, we'll talk about it more, but that's our new theme.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it more later. The new theme, last time was Ecclesiastes 4:9 through 12. This year it is Hebrews 3:13. It's actually just one verse for a theme verse instead of theme verses. And then what else?
Much cleaner
What
doing
else
it
is
that
new?
way.
We're going to have some new segments.
Ooh.
We got some meme reviews, some Q&As. If you guys want to ask us questions, whether it's for us or for guests, feel free to send those in through the Discord.
Yep.
So that way we can bank those up and have a good segment out of it and get some of your guys' questions answered. Hopefully we could do that every few episodes.
Yeah, so just go to our Discord, discord.gg/Christian Influence. Go to the Under the Influence channel for this show. You can chat about the show there. You'll get updates about the show there. But also, if you want, just post something that says like question for the podcast and put a question there for us. It can be anything. It can be biblical. It can be interesting, like something about us. It can be personal questions. Whatever you want to ask us. We may or may not use them, but we'll bank them into this list, and then we'll make sure to answer those on episodes that we set aside time to do Discord Q&As. What else? What other segments? What are we talking about? Discord meme review, right? Those are memes that'll be in the Discord, so we'll scroll through those and laugh at them, maybe not laugh at them, see how. And you guys can submit
to keep
memes
a
to the
straight
meme
face.
channel. Yeah, we've got. We want to just do more stuff integrated with the Discord, right? Some Discord testimonials where we can
Yes.
talk to people in the Discord about why they're believers and things like that. Am I missing one of the segment pitches ideas? Oh, we'll always do story times, things like that. What was the other one? Was there another one? I don't know. You'll have to wait and find out. Man. Let's see. So, yeah, we got a new structure, too. We've got new segments. We didn't really talk about the structure. We got new hosts, new segments. We got a new set, courtesy of a donor who provided like this awesome new backdrop for us. We've shifted the way we're using the room. It's much better now. We've got more room for the cameras, more room for us back here. I don't know why we didn't start with this to begin with. Wait. What's this big new thing on the set? You guys should remember this from what? Season 4, episode 6 or something?
It was pretty early in season
My
4.
brother-in-law, Jacob Ackelmeyer, made this for us, and we're now using it finally on the set.
Oh, I thought we were gonna just leave it elephant in the room,
What?
Not even tell them that we've got it up. Like like everything, such cool stuff everywhere. We got a bookshelf with a ton of great stuff on it. All right, that's it.
and nothing
And then
else
just
new.
not even.
Yeah,
not
and I don't
talk
even
about
know
that.
how much of the bookshelf they can see. It's a
No,
bummer.
yeah. It's a bummer
The
'cause
way
we
it
made
ended
it
up working
all-
out. But
Yeah.
we've got this bookshelf back here with some stuff, and it's pretty cool. We've got some dragon miniatures from D&D and a bunch of awesome books, all books that we really like and or approve of, I should say. I don't know how you want to say it. But yeah, we've got some of my favorite books over there, Humility and Absolute Surrender by Andrew Murray. We've got Discipline by Grace, The Irrational Atheist, End of the Spear, which we've talked about on this podcast a few times. We've got Princess Levi up there in the corner. A bunch of fun stuff. Oh, Titus Titus Stuffy here. Titus is from our D&D podcast. Go check it out.
Yeah,
More on
the
Legend.
crossover.
But yeah, a bunch of new stuff. We're probably focusing too much on all the new stuff
probably.
here. But you can see it. That's all that
Vertical
matters.
lines this season.
Vertical lines,
lines.
which is slimming.
Last season horizontal, this season vertical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next season diagonal.
Dude, we just
And then
turn
zigzag.
everything. That'd be so difficult. Honestly,
That'd be
it'd be kind of cool.
I wish I didn't say it.
I think it would look cool. Tell me what you think in the comments below.
Yeah,
Come on,
yeah, let us
diagonal lines cutting across, I think would look kind of cool. Shibs, back me up. No?
Yeah, there we go.
Here, let's talk about something else.
It's
new
a
we're
no
getting.
from me.
Shibs, can you let us know what you think about diagonal lines?
It makes me think of school pictures when you pay it up to get the extra cool, like neon lines in the background.
Okay. That's enough out of
Got
you,
'em.
Shibs. We've got a
I
mic
agree
on
with you.
Shibs.
Yeah.
So we'll probably work on making that sound better, but right now this is how it works. We've got a mic for him, so you can. No more is Shibley going to have to like from the
Yeah, we
other
actually
room.
have him cut off. So
Yeah,
that we don't have to smell
completely
him
shut. Wow, we just have to smell each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's much worse. We used to have a window that let things in.
It's much worse. We also
Well, because it's all.
You can't-
No, I just mean like
I don't know that those are correlated.
I'm saying it feels stuffier in here. Like
It
it already
does
felt
feel
stuffy, but
stuffier
it
in
feels
here, yeah,
stuffier
yeah.
in here. Is my
Yeah.
point. We had airflow. Now we have. Pretty soon we'll have literally none.
Yeah.
Well, we could turn the heater on. Hot air.
Yeah, unfortunately, Shibley is on a mic count, so that was his one for the episode. But
He's on mic count. Yeah, he's only allowed to use it once. He has to pick when he wants to spend it, and I forced him to spend it there.
Well, no, every extra use he just has to pay us.
Oh
Yeah.
wow!
If he wants to be in the show, he's got to pay.
Wow.
Him, you
yeah,
know?
if he wants to use it again, he has to put up diagonal
yeah,
lines.
we
He's got to put up diagonal lines.
we pay guests to be on the show, but he has to pay us to be on the show. No, we don't pay guests. Maybe lots of people do that. I don't know.
Lots of people do.
I think that's pretty much it. That's new. I mean, we're going to try and be more structured. Like we said, we're going to step up the structure. So what that means is this episode's not a great example of it.
No.
But moving forward, we'll want to do things like we're going to really try and keep it to be an intro, and then we'll kind of do kind of our actual segments where we just kind of like tell a story or do meme reviews, things like that. We're actually going to put that kind of at the front. So if we do cult or hypothetical, that'll be at the front. The goal of that is to like save this larger chunk of time for our main topic so that we're not like trying to get through the main topic to get to this thing that we had planned. Instead, we'll do the things that we had planned at the beginning. Also, it allows us to cut those out so that we can like have like clips and stuff of those easier. Were you trying to say something?
Oh, I thought we were keeping that to ourselves and just like letting it speak for itself.
Okay, we can
But I'm
cut
not
that
sure.
out. I don't know why it would matter.
Yeah.
We already said we're stepping up the structure and we included it on this list when we
Okay.
went over what we were going to talk about.
My
So
bad.
if you wanted it taken out, that was the time.
I should have
Just
said it then.
something. Yeah.
All right.
But I don't know why it would matter. So if you're listening, let me know if that ruined the magic. Telling you that we want to like give you the fun stuff up front so that you can enjoy that, and then you can listen to the main topic. And the purpose of that is so that you don't feel like we're rushing through the main topic to get to something else. So if that ruined the magic for you, we'll take it out after the show's already come out. So that's how we're stepping up the structure. We told you how we're stepping up the hosts. We already told you how we're stepping up the set. We told you how we're stepping up the segments. We need to talk about the theme, but we'll do that later because I have a story.
Oh.
So Levi's already heard a little bit about this, but I hurt my leg recently. And it's important that I
Again?
tell this story on the podcast because it came up in the Discord a little bit and people were asking me about it. And I said like, oh, don't worry. Once I'm sure that I'll tell that story on the podcast when the podcast comes back. And so I want to just get this out of the way while it's fresh in my mind and talk about it. But Levi's heard a little bit about it. Jarrett didn't even know until today that I'd hurt my leg.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Shibs has heard it either. But I have some pretty nasty pictures of it. I don't know if we could put like an explicit warning or something. We probably don't need to show it. I should have prepared it ahead of time if we were going to. But I could show you two the pictures. We just probably won't show it on screen because it's kind of gross.
Aw. So yummy though.
Is your goal
No.
just to like break every bone and eat both of your
I didn't
legs?
break my leg. I just did this.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh.
like a nasty cut.
That's a polite way of describing it.
And
you
then
have the
it
more colorful
started to look like
versions?
that
Did you pour hydrogen peroxide on that?
once. They told me to only pour it once.
Was that awful?
And then a little, oh, it was terrible. A little bit like
Was
that.
awful?
And then let me show you the bruising.
Yeah, I wanted to see the black and blue. I haven't seen that.
It's not terrible, but like it's just
Oh,
started
the
bruising.
bump.
It's getting worse now.
There is a bump.
Yeah. So
Big old goose egg.
essentially what happened. Now that you've seen the grossness,
Yeah.
it's looking a lot
Thanks
better
for that.
now. You're welcome. I went to a funeral. So
I feel bad now.
You should.
why? So growing up, when we were about 10 years old, when I was about 10 years old, not we, when I was about 10 years old, my
I mean,
family
we were all
moved.
about 10 years old.
Yeah, I was just thinking in my head,
same
my
time.
siblings and I, which didn't make sense. When I was 10 years old, my family moved to a different church, Kaiser Community Church. And it's the same church that Perry and her family moved to. And the pastor there, his name was Don Stevens, wonderful guy. He was a great pastor. He was from Oklahoma. He had an awesome saying. He would say it all the time. Like when we're like sitting there in church and he's talking like, being hypothetical or like, saying something hypothetical about a person that like doesn't understand something about scripture. He'd be like, what turnip truck did you fall off of? Like, it was so funny. It was just such a Pastor Don thing to say. And I loved him. In the past on this podcast, there was an episode in season 1, I believe, maybe season 2. No, it was season 1. Because it was when we were recording upstairs at the old church. Levi and Jude tried to like catch me off guard by saying like there was this long bit we did. In the end, it was, Jerry, you have to tell us a joke. And I told a joke, this like long drawn out dramatic joke about a mama tomato, a papa tomato, and a baby tomato, and like how the dad like squishes the baby tomato. That joke was a joke from Pastor Don. That I've just always remembered. It was this joke, like we're sitting in his backyard and this is like, he's like, hey, Jerry, you want to hear a joke? And I was like, sure. And he just spent so long like telling me this story just for the punchline to be that the dad tomato goes and like kills his son and says, catch up. Yeah. It's funnier. Like it's more disappointing like the longer it goes out because you're like, but which makes it funnier for the person telling it. It's one of those jokes that's funny for the person telling it and not for the person receiving it.
I like those.
Yeah, those are
they're
my
fun.
favorite. So
We're also dads now, so that falls right in line with.
it's required.
Yeah.
Like you do things for yourself and not for them, right? That's yeah.
Yeah, that's the message.
That's what fathers. Yeah.
That's what fathers do.
Yeah.
What's the Thor meme? Because that's what heroes do.
Because that's what heroes do.
So Pastor Don, I loved him dearly, and he recently passed away. And so Perry and Roran and I, there's some floaties in my water, dude. That is nasty.
Yeah, it's from the.
It's from the thing.
Yeah,
That's gross.
when we
Whatever.
changed it out. Like I've got
It builds character.
like.
It looks like that stuff on the bottom.
Yeah, dude.
Wow. Let's cut that out. So we went to a funeral. We had to drive to Washington for it. And so it was about an hour and a half to get there. And it's at this really beautiful church. I should have taken pictures of it. We really liked the inside of that church building. And I guess it's the first church that he used to pastor in Washougal, Washington. Or if you said it like him, Washougal, Washington. And it was a wonderful service. My dad brought some like appetizers and stuff. He catered it. And so afterward, we're all kind of in the fellowship hall area talking and listening to stories about him. And I was talking to my dad in the kitchen, and my sister had driven herself up, separately. And she goes, hey, I'm going to head back because it's a long drive home. And I'm like, all right. And she says, all right, I'll see you later. I love you. I give her a hug. She walks out of the kitchen. I'm standing there in the kitchen with my dad because it was really congested in that room. And like a minute or two maybe goes by after Julia left. And then I get a phone call. And I look down and it's Julia. And Julia kind of does this. Like she'll call me at like weird times. I don't really know how else to explain it. But the point is like there's no way to really set up that context other than saying like Julia will often call me and at kind of weird times. Sometimes she'll just like text me and say, Jerry. And I'll look down and it's like, oh, this could be like someone's dying or I want to go to Taco Bell. Like it's just my name. And she'll kind of do that with calls sometimes too. It's like she'll call me and I'll answer like, hey, what's up? And she's like, it's like a long drawn out, like, why did you call me? Like, what's going on? So I was skeptical. And I shouldn't have been, is the point. But I look at it, she's calling me, I answer, and she's crying, like, bad. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And she goes, somebody just broke into my car. And I was like, whoa. Like, that kind of put me on edge. And my first thought is, because she said someone just broke into my car. Like, she walked out there and she got, like, stuck up or whatever it's called, like stood up or whatever.
Mugged?
Like, yeah, mugged. Like someone's there with her, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, like they'll say like they stood you up,
Yeah.
or whatever. Not stood up. What is it? Step up.
Stuck up.
So she stepped up.
Yeah.
Stick them up. That's it. I don't know. But I was thinking like maybe there's someone there. Maybe she needs help. Maybe like there's like the person that just broke into her car is there. But she would have said that, right? Or she wouldn't have called me because the guy's like, I'm going to kill you if you use your phone. And in my head, though, I'm like, okay, she's in trouble. And so I rush out the door of the kitchen. I turn, there's an emergency exit. I rush out the emergency exit. I looked at my dad and said, Julia, someone just broke into Julia's car. And he's like, what? And Joel, my younger brother, is like walking behind me. I didn't realize he was until I walk out the door and I turn, and where I am is this elevated platform that wraps around the back of the church, turns a corner and goes down that way. And then once it turns the corner, it's a ramp down, right? But it goes along most of the length of the building. And I knew that because I had seen it on the way in. And so there's also a rail on it, right? Because like this is basically the handicap entrance, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, just in this, like I need to get to Julia as fast as possible mode. And I see this rail in front of me. And so I run along and I'm like, I'm going to jump over the rail, which I do all the time. Perfectly reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
100%.
Yeah. Parkour.
Yeah. Parkour.
Totally reasonable. And I do that kind of thing all the time. I was not thinking that it was stupid. And to justify it, I don't think it's stupid, except for the fact that I didn't realize. What I didn't think about was that it's not just a rail on ground level, right? There's a ramp up to it. So I'm double the height that one of these rails might normally be.
Yeah.
Like a handicap rail, right? It's not hard to jump over
that
those.
Goes all the way and then turns and
then
keeps going up.
No, then you go up and then you're on that level,
okay,
the necessary level of like to get into the church.
So it's like one story up.
No,
No.
it's like 4 feet.
Yeah, so you jumped over 10 feet.
So you jumped off of a building.
A 15-foot tall rail. But so then I start to move that way. And then when I'm about halfway of my run up towards the rail, I realize like, oh, normally I would use 2 hands, jump over, and then use my arm strength to kind of lower myself down midair. So you're not hitting.
Yeah.
But halfway towards the rail, I realized like, oh man, I only have one hand because my other hand is with my phone. And so
I'm
I'm like,
still on the phone.
yeah. So I'm like, kind of like, do I do it? Do I do it? When you do something like that, you got to commit.
Yeah.
Watch Gran Turismo. That movie. It moved me. Watch that movie because it moved me. In that, like, we referenced a lot. He's like, you gotta commit. And like, if I'd committed, I think I would have been okay. But halfway through, I stutter. I'm like, oh, should I do this? Should I not? I'm going for it. So I basically lost all my momentum. I'm like 2 feet in front of it, and I just kind of go like, and like over it. And by doing that, halfway through, I'm like, I only have one hand. So I can't like lower myself down. So I'm just going to have to hit hard. But then time freezes. I look down. I'm like, oh, crap. This isn't just like a ground level rail. I should have known this because I'm on like a second level up. So it's twice. Like I jump over the rail easy, but then it's twice the drop of the normal rail.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit hard and I have one hand. And where I'm going to land, diagonal lines. There's a diagonal curb.
Oh.
So I'm going to land right. So it's like, I'm going to land right on that. And my ankle's just going to like, and I'm going to die.
Yeah.
So I'm like in this moment, like, how do I fix this? And so I just use all my strength to push myself out into the air. So instead of now, like where I jump over it and I would just basically be right beside the rail and lower myself down, I pushed myself out. So I'm like this far away from the rail. Mm-hmm. And so then it makes my body just go and swing.
Oh, you didn't like push off and let go?
No.
Like to
Praise the Lord, I didn't, man.
launch and roll?
No, there was no way that would have worked because of like the diagonal. I would have still hit that curve.
Oh.
So what happens is like I just swing down and my leg from the bottom, like at the very bottom of my leg closest to my ankle, hits that curb and all my weight just goes against it. It bruised the entire like shin bone so bad. It hurt. And I mean this entirely seriously. Like I've broken both my legs, each one at different times. Mm-hmm. And what I did there, that's the most I've ever been in pain in my entire life. Because like all my weight just on the edge of a curb, just on that, there's like no padding right there, just right on the bone. It hurt so badly. And I have no idea how I didn't break my leg. And I think that's what made it hurt so bad. Because like when I've broken my leg, it's like, ooh, it's broken. It hurts when you put weight on it. But that was just this like deep scrape. Like it's a bad gash. So it like tore my skin open. And then I've just smashed into the curb and it's just aching. And then I look up and realize like Joel watched me do it. The pastor at this church, his wife had heard me say what I said. So she was walking out. So she walked out the door and looked and just saw me go, oh, and hurt myself. And she's like, is he okay? And Joel's like, the way Joel is like, Jerry, you okay? Jerry, dude, no, dude. Okay, we're calling an ambulance. Like he just goes to 100.
Yeah.
And it's like, give me a second. Like, I don't know if I'm okay. We don't need to call an ambulance if I'm okay, right? And he's like, dude, oh, that looks bad. That's probably bad. Did you break your leg? And I'm like, oh, like in so much pain. And so I stand up and it's just the worst pain I've ever experienced. And I'm like, but still like Julia might be dying,
Yeah.
So I just like jog over there like, it's so bad. And the adrenaline like let me get over there because as soon as I got over there, she's just sitting there crying. There's glass everywhere. Like, no, nobody mugged her. She got out there to a broken in car. And once I am like, okay, are you okay? And she's like, yeah. I was like, is there anyone with your stuff? Like, and she goes like, no, I came out here, it was broken into. I just went, like, now I can, and she's like, she had seen me like limp over there. And now I'm like, oh, she's like, what happened? Like, because she's dealing with like someone broke in my car.
Yeah.
It freaked her out. It scared her. She's sad.
And now her brother is just screaming
And then
in agony.
I look, I like roll my pant leg up and it's just bleeding. And like there's this big gash in my leg. She's like, what happened? Like, did they get you? Like,
I found the guy. He got me.
yeah. And I'm like, I need to sit down. I'm like, just like, what's going on? Oh, it's getting worse now. Cause like the adrenaline is gone because she's fine. I'm like, whoa. And Joel walks over there and is like, dude, I knew that was bad. That's really bad, isn't it? I'm like, I'll be fine. Just give me some time. Let me make sure. Oh. And I kept going like, oh, Lord, help me. God, help me. Lord, help me make it okay. It's fine, right? Lord, it's not broken. I don't think it's broken. God, if it's broken, you can heal it. Just talking to myself over and over again. And Joel is like, dude, okay, we're on the phone with 911 right now. We're on the phone with 911. I'm like, okay, I could be fine. Like, I've broken my leg twice. Like, he's like, is it broken? I was like, give me some time. I'll know, like if it's broken. But like, even if it is broken, waiting won't change it, Like, every time
give
I
it a couple weeks.
But like 10, 15 minutes to let the immediate pain go away and then kind of be like, okay, is it swelling uncontrollably? Is it
Can I
black?
flop
Like
my foot back and forth?
exactly. And obviously I walked over on there so my foot wasn't flopping around.
Yeah.
So I was just like, just give me some time, well, just give me some time, and it was fine. Like it hurt really bad. It took a long time for the pain to dull down, but I was able to put weight on it. It didn't increase the pain, so I figured it wasn't broken. And Joel calmed down, and Julia was fine. And then I went in there. It was just embarrassing because now I'm like limping around because it hurt so bad. So I'm like limping around this funeral, and people are like, "Did you guys hear? Like
This blood.
a
down your
girl
leg.
got her car broken into, and her brother got all cut up." And people are like, "Whoa! Like what's going on?" I'm like, And then eventually I'm like, okay, I just hope that we can like let this
Jerry's
die
like,
down.
wow, who was that?
Yeah, I did. I was like just wincing through the pain, like just trying to walk normal so people wouldn't know I just did because it felt so stupid. I felt so stupid. Like I jumped over this thing and really hurt
You
my
could have
leg.
been like, man, you should see the other guy.
Because I did.
Cuts over to the other guy, and it's
Wow,
just
man.
a rail with like
Yeah.
a little like paint chip on it.
have a
Or like
question.
the thief, like, man, you should have seen the other guy because I didn't. Like, did you see the other guy?
How much time would have been added
Hmm.
just by going down the ramp?
So that's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the moment, enough that if Julia had a guy at like if Julia had a guy at knife point, if a guy had Julia at knife point, that it wasn't worth it because it was a long.
Okay.
Because I'm on this side of the church, the front doors of the church are over here, and like I walked out, and I know that the ramp goes basically to the front doors, and I was like, that doesn't seem worth it. In hindsight, totally worth it, right? Like it would have 100% been worth it.
Yeah.
But at the time, I'm like, I should jump over that rail. I shouldn't have jumped over the rail.
We're too old now.
You hit 26, bro.
Yeah, a while ago. I mean, I've jumped over rails since I've been 26, but
It only takes one.
Yeah, I think if I hadn't had my phone in my hand, I would have been totally fine. Because I would have jumped over it, been like, oh, I'm going to have to hit a little
You
hard.
want to go try that?
Yeah,
now?
we're gonna have to
Yeah.
record this, and
Yeah.
you have to prove that you still
Yeah.
got it.
Okay.
You're gonna have to step it up.
There's a rail outside. I'm not going to do it while my leg still hurts this bad. Because
Oh,
but-
so now he can't do it all of a sudden.
No, I'm not going to do it while my leg hurts this bad because I have not gone to the doctor to see if there is a fracture. So if there is, I haven't like been jumping or
that
anything
would-
like that.
It already looks horrendous.
It does
Like,
look
still.
horrendous.
If there's a slight fracture and I like jump off something and really break it, I'm not going to risk that. So when I'm healed, I'll totally jump over a railing.
We'll bring a railing in for the finale.
Yeah.
Into this room.
The finale
Okay,
will
Jerry,
be.
with 2 feet lead, ready, go.
Well, you stutter stepped.
Huh?
You know, you could stutter step again, and you said that all the change would be 2 hands, right?
Yeah, so I would not have stutter stepped had I had 2 hands. That's what I'm saying. Because I said the reason I stutter stepped is because I had one hand. I was like, should I not? If I had not had what I actually said, you Hitler rewriting history. No, that's a reference to a book that we had on the shelf for a second. And Hitler didn't rewrite history; he died.
What are you talking? Yeah, everybody else rewrote history.
That's right. That's what
Yeah.
I meant. That's what I meant. So when I said step it up, we're also stepping up the insults around here. You know how in most media they're just like Hitler. I don't like what you said, so you're Hitler. We're gonna do that.
That's what
here.
Jerry keeps. Yeah.
Levi was like, we should do that here, and I said, okay, I'll start. That way they don't know it was your idea, Levi. So
Oh yeah. Cool.
what I said was that if I hadn't had my phone in my hand, I think it would have been fine. If I hadn't had my phone in my hand, so because if I hadn't had my phone in my hand, I
would have
wouldn't
had
have.
both hands.
I would not. I would have had both hands,
Wouldn't
and I
have
would not have
stutter
stuttered.
stepped.
Exactly. With a stutter step, dude, I will probably biff it. That don't stutter. If you're gonna jump over a rail, commit to it.
If you're gonna jump, commit.
If you're gonna do something, commit. Don't wonder.
Put down in the comments below if you think Jerry can do this by the end of the season.
Jump over a handicap rail?
Yeah.
That's so easy.
With the 4-foot drop
Well,
at the
currently
end.
you need the rail. So
That's true. I mean, like, it's super easy to jump over a handicap rail. I don't know what we're talking about.
I mean, your leg would beg to differ.
Do you remember, when we were at the when we were in Bend?
Yeah.
What is
For
that
your
called?
bachelor party?
That's it. We went to an Airbnb
Yeah.
and went disc golfing.
You.
Remember that rail that we
Yeah.
all jumped over? That
dude.
was terrifying.
We've got the video of it somewhere.
There's a video of that?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, great. Okay, great. Then I don't need to do it.
No. You have to jump over one that has the 4-foot drop at the bottom.
Oh, you want a
with the
4-foot
diagonal
drop?
thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys just set a rail.
yeah, you have
No,
to
you
jump
said
off the
I
roof of the
totally
building
could have
and be
done it.
fine.
Yeah, I said I probably would have been fine.
Yeah. So you
And
have to
that
prove
I probably would have hit hard. Okay, I'll do that. We could just drive an hour and a half. We'll get to that church. We'll ask them if we can
It'll be
use their
worth it.
rail, and I'll jump over it.
Cool.
Okay, season 5 finale. They're
We
going to
get
push
there,
me
it's
off a
still a
railing.
crime scene because there's just all the.
Yeah, that's what happened. There you go.
Yeah.
I just gashed my leg real bad. The funny thing after that was just that I'm trying to be fine, but then the pastor's wife knew what had happened, so there was a doctor there. She got him to come look at it.
Does anyone know? Is there a
And-
doctor here?
He's like, yeah, you're fine. I mean, there's no padding there, and so you pretty much can't stitch it up. It's just going to heal really gross and have a bad scar. And I was like, okay, whatever. I already have a scar on that leg from when I broke my leg. And then he was like, here, this is all we have, right? So he puts these big Band-Aids on it and puts some Neosporin. He's like, go home, put your leg in a bucket, soak it, do hydrogen peroxide it once, and then you need to use Dial he specifically said use Dial antibacterial soap to clean it out, soak it in that every night. Well, not in soap, soapy water, every single night, right? It's a lot of soap, 5-gallon bucket of soap every night. And I'm like, okay, so we're headed home from Washington. It's like an hour and a half. About halfway there, we're passing IKEA. Now, I've never been to IKEA. I've always wanted to go to IKEA. Well, not really. But Perry would like for us to have gone to IKEA. And she's been there. And I've been intrigued. What's this cool thing about this IKEA place, right?
It's the meatballs.
It is. And they're fine. If you've had real Swedish meatballs,
Real Swedish meatballs.
they're good. These ones at IKEA are good. But they're the easy to acquire Swedish meatballs. There's some hair on that. Let me get that for you. So I'm like, hey, we never have time to just drive up here. You've wanted to go to IKEA. We're passing by. Let's go to IKEA because I feel fine. I've been sitting in the car for 45 minutes. My leg doesn't hurt as bad. And she's like, dude, that's gonna hurt really bad. I was like, it'll be fine. Like, yeah, it'll hurt, but it's worth it because we've got time and you want to go, right? She's like, okay. So we go in there. It was terrible. It hurt so bad. Like, because I knew that IKEA was basically this long collection of showrooms where you like see like a house with furniture. Like they make a little thing for it, right? But what I didn't know is like, I thought like, man, if it hurts really bad, I can bail halfway down. No, they make it a maze with no exits until the end. It's like a 2-mile walk and you're like back and forth. Yeah. I never banned. Now
the reason that they make it that way is so that way you have to be like, fine, I'll get this, and hopefully someone will direct me to a register next to the door.
Yeah. But there's like there's emergency exits, but other than that, so then we got some food. It was fun, and then we head home and go. All right, we got to go get a bucket. We got to go get some soap, and he said Dial antibacterial, no detergents because that'll hurt. You need Dial because it's hand soap, so it's soft, and then also antibacterial. All right. So you've heard us talk about this on this podcast before, listener, but I'm pretty anti-Target. I've said I won't shop at Target. So we went to Lowe's to get the bucket, and I'm like, they have soap, and Lowe's didn't have. Whoop, that was weird. The audio skipped there. Lowe's didn't have the soap that we needed. And the closest store that was open, because it was like 10 o'clock or about to be, I knew was Target. And I was like, you know what? I think Christians like can say, yeah, we're going to boycott this. Or whatever. Like, we're not going to shop there. We're not going to go out of our way. We're not going to, like, if there's things that are only there that we want, we shouldn't shop there. But we can also trust that, like, even if we're trying to avoid that, our money's going to end up places that, like, where people use it for things that do not glorify God. But we can trust that God is in control, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And right now I need something, and this is the place that's available, and I need it tonight. So I'm going to walk in there and get it. I'm going to spend $5 at Target, and I don't think that is counter to the value. Like the value that we have decided to follow, which is to not support certain businesses. And it's kind of like, the Sabbath was made for man, but man wasn't made for the Sabbath, right? Like if I'm just like, no, like this homeless man needs food. Oh, sorry, buddy. You're just going to have to die. That's a Target. I'm not going to buy you any food, right? Like, no, we should trust God. And so I walk into Target. And I was like, you can wait in the car if you want. She said, yeah, I'm going to wait in the car. The baby's sleeping. I'm going in there just limping, right? Like, I've got this black jacket on, a beanie, and I'm just like, oh, man, just like limping around. And there's like blood all on the leg of my pants. And I'm just limping around Target, which is such a nice looking store. And I'm looking like, oh, man.
Just bloody footprint.
Well, not that bad. It's not like bleeding, but like there's stained blood on my pants. And I'm like looking at all the soap. They don't have the soap either, which is so dumb. And I'm like looking around, like they don't have any that's hand soap and it says antibacterial. So I'm like, I gotta go somewhere else. This is so stupid.
How many people are injuring themselves that they're buying all this soap?
Yeah. And I'm looking at all this soap, like they don't have it. Like, oh, whatever. I'll just get the gauze that I know I need too. So I walk over, and I don't have a basket or a cart. So I grab a thing of gauze. I grab saline. I grab hydrogen peroxide, the medical tape. I've got all this in my hands. So I'm like limping to the thing. There's blood. One of my bloody Band-Aids falls out of my pant leg, and I'm like, oh. When I look around, there's like a lady in the aisle that looks at me, and I just grab it off the floor. I put it in my pocket. I limp to the cash register. I'm buying it. I get out there, and I'm like, man, Perry, this whole day has been so embarrassing. Because like I did this stupid thing. Everybody at the funeral found out. It was really dumb. It was embarrassing. Like it was an unwise decision. And then I limped around IKEA, and then now I limped through Target, and I must look creepy because I'm in this like dark jacket. I've got blood on my pant leg. I limp out with all this medical supplies. You must think like, what is going on with this guy? And then she's like, or they just think that you're John Wick. And I was like, all right, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's all I was thinking. Like that's
John Wick,
quintessential. Every single
action hero.
Hero, when he gets shot, he goes to the supermarket, has to buy like gauze, and then pull out the bullets and like rebandage it.
When I looked back on it in my head, I was like, I probably didn't look cool, but it's like, dude, exactly what I did is all those action movies. Like I'm limping through, bloody pant leg, like.
The only thing you could have done better is clean it all in that bathroom.
Or in the
yeah. You go to the bathroom and just sit there over the sink and just
that would have been leg. Way. You're right. Yeah. But Target bathrooms, there could have been women in there.
That's true.
They do the mixed bathroom thing.
Yeah,
and that's where I draw the line.
The craziest part is Julie's car didn't even get broken into. She just left her window down.
Yeah, I don't know how the glass got all over the ground.
all
but
over the floor.
She got scared and dropped her phone. Yeah, no, it definitely did. They stole like a jacket and oh, dude, it's actually really sad.
Oh.
This happened later. Like,
Sorry,
No.
Julia, for playing.
so they stole her leather jacket. It's like an $80 jacket. But she was like, whatever, if they need it, and they didn't take anything else. There was some stuff in there they could have taken and they didn't. But then, like a week and a half later, she found out when she went to go to Bible study that they had stolen her bag with her Bible and her Bible study notebook and all that stuff. And it was like, it had a ton of like personal letters from teachers. And it's like her Bible with all her notes in it. It was really sad. She was really upset. Like I was upset.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like she had literally said, like maybe there was something in that jacket that's in there that like maybe they'll like maybe it had something about the Bible in it or whatever. Like maybe like God will use that in that way. And they were like, yeah, I mean, it's like unlikely that maybe she had some Bible note in her jacket. But then later when she said they took her Bible, I was like, maybe they'll read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe because she's like, I have all my study notes. And I was like, you know what? Maybe you just equipped this person with more, like not just the Bible, but like interpretive notes, and they can read through and help them understand it. Like things you've written down that you have learned, maybe they'll read it. Hopefully, I don't know. But it's really sad that that's what she ended up losing.
Yeah. If I ended up, stealing something on accident, like a bunch of notes, I would at least glance through and see like what kind of
That's
notes
you,
were all
though.
written.
You're not a crackhead. And the people that were at the church were saying like that corner that like they find needles and drugs there all the time.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if like you're looking for a little bit of cash to go buy some crack. If you're going to be like a Bible, well, this is clearly important to this person. I'm going to give it some respect. I think you'd be like,
Well, no, not, in a give it respect kind of way, but just
okay.
like, if you found a notebook.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
like-
yeah, just like natural like desire to
Yeah.
snoop and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. And I mean, yeah, I trust that God will use it in their life. Hopefully they take it
Hopefully.
seriously. So, yeah, that's what I did to my leg. It was stupid,
Yeah.
but
That's fun, though.
But I'm John Wick.
You got to,
Well, I'm glad it's doing better because
Yeah, it's fine.
it looks,
it looks awful.
Yeah. At first, I was like, I mean, it can't be that bad because like it's not even like a slice; it's like a scrape kind of
Yeah.
cut. So how could it be that bad? And then as time went on, it was like, ugh, this is looking gross. And so I didn't think it was infected. I was using Neosporin on it every day. I went like a week and a half later. I went to go to the doctor because I was like, it's looking really gross. And every time we'd look at that, like that kind of yellowish white stuff in there, Perry's like, that looks bad. I'm like, yeah, but like that's the healing. That white stuff is the healing, right? Like that's what it is. And then it started to hurt. It was getting more red and kind of puffy around. I was like, maybe it is infected, but like it's not warm like infections are. And I don't know. I never went to the doctor. I saw a doctor. I never went to the doctor. I'll go to the doctor because I sent him a picture of it and he's like, you should come in right away. That might be infected. And I got there and he's like, honestly, I don't think this is infected. I think all the red puffiness that you're seeing, he's like, what are you doing to it every day? I was like, well, I'm soaking it once every night with Epsom salt and this soap. And he's like, good. And I was like, then I'm, putting Neosporin on it every day and I'm covering it with gauze and then wrapping it. And he's like, I think this is just irritated skin from the Neosporin. I was like, what? The thing that I'm trying to do to keep it from getting infected is like making me think it's infected. He's like, yeah. So yeah, it's fine. I stopped putting Neosporin on it. Just been keeping it wrapped. And,
now it's super infected.
and it's black. Yeah, it's disgusting. It's just like oozing purple goo.
It's ready to be cut off.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow I have another appointment. It's an amputation appointment. So don't jump over rails.
Maybe you could get one of those spring legs,
Yeah. Spring? Like it
like
looks like a little-
Oscar Pistorius,
who's that?
the Olympic runner.
Yeah.
who-
The hook shaped ones that are the
The hooked
it's
ones?
Like
Yeah.
springs,
Yeah, that would be
though.
cool. Those are cool. There's that character from that movie that has like one of those, but it's got a knife running through the middle of it.
What?
It's like Kingsman or something.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lady.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
She's got like, and she like hits a button and it shoots a knife out of one end, so she bounces and like whoosh, cuts people.
It's pretty cool.
It's like a boot knife, but in your
So John Wick,
yeah.
more
Just gotta
John,
cut off that leg.
more John Wickness. So that was a long story. We'll cut some of that down, but that's what I did to my leg. Now everybody in the Discord that was wondering
That's what he
knows
did.
what I did to
That's
my
the
leg.
story.
Moral of the story: you're gonna do something awesome, commit
Yeah.
Commit and step it up.
and step it up. There you go. So we should talk a little bit about the theme. Oh,
Yeah.
that's my gross leg. Let's get off of that screen.
I've never
You guys want to
seen
see it
that.
again?
No.
Okay.
Yum.
Is it in the Discord?
No,
No.
I wasn't gonna send that gross picture in the Discord.
He's doing you
Yeah,
all a
he'd get
favor.
banned.
Is that bad?
What?
It's just
Yeah.
this like this cavernous gash in the front of my leg.
I mean, I don't. None of the pictures.
So you know how,
looked
like, a leg
it was
looks?
healing bad.
No, it's because
At
like
all.
the skin can't come together to heal.
Yeah.
Because it's
just
not fatty.
It's gonna like
and
you
so
know scar.
So new tissue's growing from out, from in out,
Yeah.
which makes it look nasty.
Yeah. So you know how like a leg is normally supposed to look?
I'm not very familiar.
Yours looks nothing like that.
Well, hang
In
on.
more ways than one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say my leg looks about 85% like a normal leg.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's not.
15% is too much. It's gross.
I might have even gone a little low on my numbers.
Yeah.
Well, how much of my leg looks like a normal leg percentage wise? 93% of it? Like my
Well-
whole leg?
Oh, if you go the whole leg.
Okay, fine.
maybe.
Just from knee to ankle.
but
how much
knee
of that
down
leg?
because you've got the side scar as well from.
Oh,
the-
we're talking.
like
Okay.
overall,
I was thinking my normal leg, which has that scar. We're talking.
like to a normal.
Do you have a
person's-
normal left leg?
Yeah.
Really?
No,
I
you
don't believe
don't.
you.
Dude, look at the back of your left leg.
Oh, do you have a
I
tattoo?
have a tattoo.
I have a tattoo. Do you have a
Now,
normal left leg?
I have a
I
tattoo.
do have a normal left.
Okay,
leg.
so your perfect left leg, this specimen over here. How percentage-wise different is my left leg from knee to ankle than your left leg? I think.
Are we talking
maximum,
about internal or just surface?
Of course,
level?
just surface level.
Okay. Just
Come
checking.
on,
Just checking.
because if not, then
Just checking.
then we know mine's the normal in comparison to yours. If we're talking internals. No,
you
I
have
literally-
steel inside it.
Excuse me, it's titanium.
Titanium.
Steel would be very heavy, if let's be honest.
Dude, titanium's heavier than steel. What are you talking about?
Titanium? Isn't it lighter?
No.
Tungsten's the heavy one.
Oh, tungsten's what I'm thinking of.
Tungsten's
Yeah. That would be incredible.
I would be limping all the time for no reason other than that.
No, your left leg would just
Ships,
be.
can you look that up
jacked.
for us? Is titanium lighter? Because I'm like 99% sure the point of titanium is it's a very light, very strong metal. Let's see what he says. But yeah, so percentage-wise, difference, extra surface level.
It's such a large portion of your shin.
Yeah, it's a large.
Do you know that for sure?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you saw the picture.
Yeah.
It's about a third of my.
I wouldn't be so grossed out if I.
It's
didn't
like
see the
1/3
picture.
or 1/2 of my shin.
Yeah.
On the front. It's also at a diagonal. angle. Titanium has relatively low
Half
density.
the density of steel, so
Yeah.
it's much lighter.
Yeah.
I was wrong. My bad.
That's
still-
because I think that's why I don't think they would put titanium in your leg if it was heavier than steel.
It'd be pretty dope though.
Yeah, but it would be dumb.
Dude,
We're gonna put iron in there.
you break part of your fist,
Lead.
and then they have to put steel rods of titanium or tungsten, and then your hand is super heavy. But man, you don't need.
If you can build up enough strength to still punch as
yeah,
hard.
dude, you don't need brass knuckles. anymore. It's built in.
Adamantium, Wolverine, significantly heavier. It's a good thing he's a mutant. Can you look up tungsten versus steel?
Yeah,
'Cause then we'll be able to figure
adamantium.
out-
I don't think is real.
Well, no, it's not. I don't think he was by typing it. I don't think he was saying that he believes it's real. Oh,
It's real.
It's real. Tungsten is much,
Much
heavier.
heavier.
Much. So wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But
You
how
would've
much?
said that on the mic. But you
About
already used his-
19.3 grams per per cubic centimeter.
Let's move on. Let's move on. So stupid.
You know, I don't think it looks as bad now.
So let's talk about our theme verse.
Okay.
So we chose Hebrews 3:13 for
Yeah.
this season's theme for a reason. Last season, which was last year, we picked Ecclesiastes 4:9 through 12, and it was like I think based on a lot of the conversations we had, the reason we wanted to do that was that verse. Let's read it. You want to pull it up, Levi?
There you go.
True. Oh, he's got.
Oh, he's got Hebrews. Let's read Ecclesiastes first, though.
We're talking about last season, Jarrett.
We're recapping. But Levi, you want to read that one, and then Jarrett can read the other one when we get to it?
Yes, sir.
We'll cut all this out.
Leave it in.
Here you go, Levi.
It was 4.
All right. Whatever. I had it,
Oh.
but my phone's a little too big for him to...
Yeah, he's
See.
got small hands. It's hard to hold.
That's not what I meant. I wasn't going a small hands joke. I was just talking about the size of my phone compared to the size of his phone. I don't make small hands jokes. I think it's derogatory. Frankly, I think it's unfounded and deplorable.
You're right. I should step it up.
Step it up. That's
Anyway.
the theme. The theme of the season is step up.
Except that's literally not the theme at all. But
Well,
I mean, in a
I
certain
guarantee
there's
you,
one thing
I can liken Hebrews 3:13 to step up.
No, yeah. I can
movie?
see it. I can see
No,
it.
well, we'll figure
Well,
that out.
probably
but
not.
To say, we'll get there.
Yeah. We'll get there when we get there.
I've never seen that movie.
Neither way.
What's
I don't
Ecclesiastes
know if
4, 9
I've
through
watched
12?
it. Ecclesiastes 4, 9 through 12. 2 people are better than one because they can reap more benefit for their labor. What?
I'm just freaking out shibs out there. Go ahead.
For if they fall, one will help his companion up. But pity the person who falls down and has no one to help him up. Furthermore,
Don't
if,
kiss to my wife, dude. She's leaving.
oh, I thought that was to Shibs.
Man, you creeper. Come on.
All right.
Give it the program.
Furthermore, if 2 lie
He's a-
down
he's
together,
man.
they can keep each other warm. But how can one person keep warm by himself? Although an assailant may overcome one person, 2 can withstand him. Moreover, a 3-stranded cord is not easily broken.
So the reason we had picked that, and I think overall, it was because like Christian influence is about Christian community, right? And about we were talking about how people have a responsibility to not isolate themselves and to go and be a part of Christian community, like go be a part of your church, go surround yourself with Christians because you're better with people around you, right?
Yeah.
But then, so that's kind of the like, you go into community. This verse, if Jared wants to read it, this is kind of the other direction.
But exhort one another each day as long as it is called today, that none of you may become hardened by sin's deception.
This one is like the responsibility we have to go to other people, right? And then like, so it says like, what do we do? When do we do it? And why we do it is the way I've thought about it. Like there's this threefold thing. It says, what do we do? Exhort one another, right? So like tell the truth in love, encourage each other, walk alongside each other and push each other closer to God. And then it says when we do it or how often, each day as long as it is called today, which is like every single day. Exhort one another every
a day
day.
ending in Y.
Yes. The American way of
Yeah.
saying it. The day, every day ending in day, right? Don't they all end in day?
It's
Monday,
ending
Tuesdays.
in Y.
Yeah.
Is the saying.
Well, yes. But I just changed it.
Oh, okay.
But then you have the people that be like, well, every day ends with night, so I guess I never have to do it.
That's why the other thing is the saying.
Wait, no, not every day ends in night.
Was that a joke that was for you?
not every day ends in night because you can go to the polls.
So it says do it every day that is called today. And then why do we do it? Why should we go and encourage one another every single day and be in each other's lives so that none of you, right? None of the members of the church would become hardened by sin's deception. It's like just because you're saved, just because you're locked in, doesn't mean that like sin isn't something you deal with anymore, right? And it reminds us that it's like it's not just your battle either. You have a responsibility to go and be a part of other people's battle with sin and encourage them so that they're not deceived by sin. It's one of my favorite verses.
Yeah, and once you are committed and are trying to go grow in your walk and help others, like you become a bigger target for the enemy.
Yeah.
So it's important to have that support with you, reminding you just that deception and sin is very real. So
Yeah, that's true. Like in that way, Ecclesiastes 4, 9 through 12, it's like get the people around you. Great. Now go help other people, right? Like in that order, like be sure that you're not isolated so that you have help and then go help other people, right?
Yeah.
And then they will help. Yeah.
yeah, because I mean, just being in the church and around people drastically has changed my life and how much I've grown. Because it's a completely different relationship with God when you're in the church and you're spending time with the people in the church as opposed to being like, yeah, I watch the live stream on Sunday, you know? Yeah, I read when the pastor says, "Oh, you should read this." It's like, yeah, I'll do that. It's completely different, but it does open you up to be attacked.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, right? If we are doing what God has called us to do, the devil doesn't like that. So he's like, man, I got to try and trip this guy up. And if you're doing it alone, you're more likely to be tripped up.
Yeah. And exhorting people is a lot of ways just being truthful with people.
Yeah.
And sin is deceitful, and your heart is deceitful because, we all got these cursed hearts in us. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
We're constantly being deceived if we don't look to the Bible, God, and to those around us that God is using to talk truth into our lives.
Yeah. I think it's good that you said that our hearts are deceitful, right? Because that's also part of why that you don't do things alone. It's not just because like when you're alone, it's harder because you don't have help. And so that, the devil can trip you up. It's also because like your own flesh betrays you, right? Mm-hmm. Like Paul talks about, like even if you, from an intellectual standpoint, it's like, yeah, I know what I should be doing and I want to be doing that, but then I still do the things I don't want to do, right? It's like your own flesh will betray you. And it's about building up resolve, these spiritual disciplines, knowing what is right, living based off what you know to be true, not what you feel in the moment. But it's hard work. Like it's difficult to do, and trying to do it alone is just, it's
dumb.
I was gonna say that, but I was like, how can I say it nicer? Like I was gonna say fruitless or faulty, but yeah, it's dumb. It's foolish, right? That's probably a more biblical word, like what the Bible might say. But like, yeah, it's dumb. It's foolish. And I think we can say it's dumb because we've done it and we do it.
Yeah.
Like we're not just saying like, dude, we got this on lock and you guys are dumb. It's like every time I've tried to handle sin in my life on my own, that's been dumb. Mm-hmm. It's been stupid. And it's not gone well. Yep. Like we first go to God and then we go to the people that God has put in our lives so that we'll be more effective. Yep. So we're like, last season we talked about how like, hey, we have responsibility to be in Christian community, to not isolate ourselves. This season, we're like, hey, let's remember, that the onus is on us. We've got a responsibility to be present in other people's lives. Like go and be in people's lives and encourage them.
And, also, if you feel like, oh, God isn't using me, there's no way that God can use me, then like simple thing, you can literally just exhort those around you in truth. And God will use that for good.
Yep. I thought he was going to say step up. I was like, dude, I was the one that was supposed to do that. But yeah. Like if you think, then step up.
Yeah.
Step it up.
Step up.
Step up, man. But like, that's kind of what this verse is saying. It's like, don't be like not moving. It's like you have a responsibility. Step up and exhort people.
And just because you bring people into the church and the community doesn't mean they don't need your support further from there.
Yeah.
So
like that saying where they're like, we're called to go and make disciples, not converts. Like that's a big, has historically been a huge fault of like evangelical Christianity, where it's like these big, huge, what's the word? It starts with an R, revival thing, events, right? And like a ton of people are like, yes, I believe. And it's like, good. We're going to the next city.
Yeah.
It's like,
and that's just like, well, like those, we've got nothing.
Yeah. Those traveling things can be good, but like, we've got to make sure that those people get plugged in. And so, like some people will just choose to be like, all right, that was a cool momentary high and I'm not going to go to a church or whatever. But like we also got to do the work. Like people should be converted and then should be discipled, right? Like and that's a good point. Like the onus or the responsibility is on us. We got to step up. If we're present in someone's life and then they're like, yeah, I believe the gospel. Like we don't go like, great, my work here is done, I move on. So, yeah, that's why we picked this theme. We hope that you'll like it. We hope our part of that structure thing that we talked about earlier. This is why I really wanted to talk about, like, pull back the curtain and talk about the structure thing. Is because last season we said at the beginning, like, hey, we want this theme to inform the show. Mm-hmm. Like, we want this theme to inform every episode. And I don't think we dropped the ball. I just think that we didn't really think through like how we could do that, and we just were like,
it wasn't on our minds really.
Yeah, I think for a few episodes we kind of were like, whoa, like our theme, and then later, like someone would say something and we'd be like, oh yeah, like the theme. Part of why we are purposely stepping up on structure is because we've built into it that we're making a commitment to try and I think it's good that we say this because people will call us out if we don't do it. Like we want to every episode be like, hey, that thing we talked about, how does Hebrews 3:13 apply to that? And by doing that, maybe it won't work and maybe we'll ditch that structure next season. But by doing that, I hope that like anybody could tune into a random episode of this season and be like, oh, that's the one where Hebrews 3:13 was their theme because it came up. Season 4, you could go listen or watch season 4, episode 13. And I don't think Ecclesiastes 4:9-12 came up.
Probably not.
I don't know. It might have. Maybe that's one of the few where it was like it did happen. But like I don't think it happened a lot, and that's okay. Like it can just be something that like we want to be on people's minds. But I think if we prayed about this and we like, I think this is what God wants us to focus on right now. Then every conversation we have, we should be like, hey, how does this verse apply? And so, yeah, I think it's one of my favorite verses, dude. I just love it. It's like one verse, and it's got this like that what, when, why thing in it that is so great. And I think that I just noticed too that this is a verse that when I'm talking to people comes up all the time. When it's like whenever I'm thinking about like talking about pretty much any struggle in life or anything like that, Hebrews 3:13 comes to mind. It's one of my favorites. I think God really imprinted it on my mind when I think it was when Chad was still preaching at Creekside, and it came up one time, and I was like, man, that verse, it's just like it hit me hard because I was like, man, that really talks about how we have a responsibility, and I knew we did, but it's like that verse just says it. Like we have a responsibility. How often should that responsibility happen, and why? And I've just never forgotten it. There's a lot of things that Chad has preached on or said that just I've never forgotten. Chad's a great preacher, man.
Yeah.
We should have Chad. We really need to have Chad on the podcast again now that it's video.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. People can see his sweet basketball skills, right?
Yeah. We are known for showing off people's physical talents on this podcast.
The way you said that was so funny. Yeah. We are known for showing off people's physical talents on this show. No, I couldn't even do it. It was so funny the way you said it. So funny. So funny. All right, what do we got? Are we done?
Well,
we've gone.
Do we want to do the video? Or do we want to save it?
do you want to talk the merch?
Oh, yeah.
I was going to, yeah. I want to make sure we're not doing anything else because that should be like the last thing we do.
Okay.
Do you think this episode needs the video reaction or do you think it doesn't? Shibs, you're our producer.
We're at an hour, 10 minutes.
Should we wrap it up? You guys want to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Let's wrap it
Let's
up.
wrap it up.
So how, in line with our structure, how does that conversation, how does Hebrews 3:13 apply to? No, we have something, and we've talked about this a little bit. Let's show them on the screen, ChristianInfluence.net. We want to get you guys to go there. Go right now if you have the ability. Go to ChristianInfluence.net. We're going to show you what it looks like here on screen. Why are we showing them what it looks like, Jarrett?
Well, we have new merch.
We have merch, period, dude. This show's never had merch. Christian Influence has always had some merch.
A little bit, but yeah.
But like, yeah, so click shop, Shibs at the top there. So if you're interested in repping your love for Christian Influence, and now if you want to show off that you like this show, scroll down. It's the very last thing, or second to last, or something. It's the last one.
very last.
This is our official Under the Influence podcast hoodie. It's for season 5. It's got our logo on the front, and then if you dash on over to that other picture, we're not going to show it off very effectively here necessarily, but go check it out. If you go over to the next photo, you'll see on the back you got to use the right left things. It's stupid.
You can't click it. You gotta.
Yeah, it does. It's fine. If you got to click the photo and then hit right left on the keypad thing, it won't let you click the photos. There we go.
There you go.
If you zoom in, you'll see Hebrews 3:13 on the back.
13.
Exhort one another each day as long as it is called today, that none of you may become hardened by sin's deception. So you've got the Under the Influence logo on the front, Hebrews 3:13 on the back. I think it looks really slick. It comes in a bunch of different colors. If you scroll down to military green, that's the one that I think pretty much all of us really like.
Yeah.
It looks great. You have to.
You're gonna have to click through
It's really stupid. We'll fix the.
Look at all these colors.
So that is heather gray. I think it's great. Blue's
Heather
a little
gray
bit
looks really
bold.
good.
Purple's a little weird. Green, not bad.
Not bad.
Military green, baby. Doesn't that Shibs? That's the one that you like, isn't it? I knew
Looks
it.
pretty.
It's good. It's a good look. So yeah, it looks. That one also looks most like our actual podcast logo, like the colors of it. But yeah, go check that out if that interests you. People have asked pretty often, like, is there merch? And we're like, yeah, sure. You can go buy a Christian Influence hoodie or a Christian Influence hat. But I worked on this, and we've got an official Under the Influence podcast season 5 hoodie you can buy if you'd like. There's other stuff on there too. There's some stickers and some socks and things like that. And then we look forward to hopefully having some other cool things.
Yeah.
But
It'd be an incredible way for you to show your community what you're listening to and bring them to the podcast. And then
great point.
Yeah.
bring them
It's
to
a
the
great talking
Discord
point.
and just continue to bring more people to Christ.
Yeah. I mean, this for many people, they're like, dude, I just want a hoodie of this show I like. And then I think for other people, they want to have an opportunity to be like, hey, this is something I like and you should check it out too. And not only that, this is a great way, like if you want something like this and you've been looking for a way maybe to support the show and support the ministry, this, it throws a few bucks at the ministry, and it can go a long way for us to continue to support things like this show and the other show of Lore and Legend. And if you watch here, hopefully soon we'll have some of Lore and Legend merch too. If you're a D&D podcast listener, hopefully we'll have some things.
I know I am.
But yeah, here hopefully soon we'll all be repping these sweet sweatshirts too, because they're kind of like brand new thing. But we wanted to show them off on this episode because it's a big deal.
Very big deal.
We'll see. Maybe we'll have one for each season. Wouldn't that be cool? Different
That'd be very
design
cool.
here and there.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. All right. Well, we hope that you enjoyed that episode. We're glad to be back. We'll record quite a few very soon.
Yes, sir.
It does feel weird to be back now.
Yeah.
This feels kind of like a special thing, and it's gonna be like a while till we do it again. It hasn't set in my head yet that it's like, all right, next Saturday we gotta roll back in or whatever. We're back to the grind. But I enjoy it. I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
inspired.
fun back to be, on air. Well,
Back to be on air.
Yeah, back to be on air.
Oh, can we get a Shibs reaction? What do you think of the sweatshirt, Shibs?
Yeah, what do you think?
Oh, it's legit.
Oh, we got a legit.
Legit.
It's too legit to quit.
You think they stepped it up?
With no leg damage.
We stepped it up with no leg damage. Is that the new thing? Yeah,
Incredible.
yeah, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
No leg damage.
Yeah, you can't say that.
It's so funny that I cut my leg because, like, I have hurt my legs so consistently in my life. I've broken both my legs.
Yeah.
Pathetic loser. All right. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed that episode.
Thank you so much.
As you notice, we're kind of getting back into the swing of things.
We gotta get back into the groove.
Yeah, we're not very slick and smooth yet. Things are a little rough around the edges, but we're working on it. Thanks for being patient while you waited for the show and being patient with us during this episode. We love you very much.
Roll the outro.
That's a good one.